Changing Habits or Habitats, a story of Siberian seagulls. About 30 million years ago, Siberian birds began their yearly ritual of migrating to different parts of the world in order to escape the harsh winters of Eurasia. The arrival of the seagulls at the Triveni Sangam in Allahabad indicates the onset of winters. With the onset of winters, the Siberian birds spread their wings to take a flight of thousands of kilometers all the way from Siberia via Afghanistan, Mongolia, and Tibet, crossing high Himalayan mountains. These birds present a mesmerizing view at the Sangam as if waiting to take a holy dip along with lakhs of pilgrims who arrive here, especially during the month of January for the month-long Magh Mela. Bobbing up and down along with the ripples of the calm waters, these Siberian birds are an added attraction for the pilgrims and tourists thronging here during the winter months. These birds map their route of arrival like a magnetic compass needle and would follow the exact flyway on their way back home. Migrating birds navigate using celestial cues from the sun and the stars, the Earth's magnetic field, and probably also mental maps. A surprising behavior has been noticed in the migration of these birds. The young ones guide thousands of migratory birds to the holy city of Allahabad every year, but when they fly back, the female bird leads the entire flock. Nothing concrete has yet been discovered what guides the young ones to such far off places, even when it is their first trip to an unknown place. Due to various human activities, our nature suffers in a lot of ways. One of the major effects of climate change is the loss of habitats, which leads to extinction of birds. The habitats upon which the migratory birds depend on are in danger due to increasing temperatures, flooding, or desertification. Global warming has caused changes in temperatures which directly affects the migratory pattern of the birds since their travel is dependent on it. Plastic waste accumulated at the ghats and inside the river bodies poses a great environmental threat to not only the water, land, but greatly to the health of these birds as they tend to confuse it with edibles. Lastly, the food items fed by tourists and locals causes immense harm to the health of these birds. Deforestation, temperature changes, etc. has caused the lives of many birds. Various strands of our ecosystem are codependent on each other, and unfortunately humans have managed to meddle with all. A lot of migratory birds change their routes, shorten or completely cancel their journey as a result of changing temperatures. Some even die since they fail to survive harsh winters. The birds are often fed by pilgrims who arrive to bathe in the river. With the increase in tourists, the boatmen start to lure the migratory birds with balls of flour. This attracts the birds all around the boat, greatly delighting the people sitting inside. The migratory birds face many threats not only from natural predators but increasingly from the anthropogenic activities like feeding them junk food and items that are packed in plastics which are then discarded carelessly. Confusing plastic waste with food, it fills their guts, causing them to starve. According to a media report, seagulls gain muscle by eating fish and other insects that are rich in protein, but the junk food that they are fed with becomes an obstacle when they have to migrate back, as it does not provide anything but fats, creating indigestion and other illnesses in their bodies. Here are a few alternatives which could be used by tourists to feed and attract the birds and not cause any harm at the same time. Food items such as nuts, baked chips, and millets could easily replace the fried food, keeping in mind the health of the birds. In order to reduce the amount of waste at the ghats, the food items could be sold in reusable woven thatch baskets, which could then be collected by respective boatmen and returned to the shopkeepers. They could be numbered or color coded for respective shops. Alternatively, they could could be sold in old newspaper bags, and the trash could be collected together by the end of each day. In order to refrain the tourists and the locals from throwing in waste in the water, there could be dustbins installed inside the boats where each boatman could take the responsibility and collect the waste from their passengers and empty it out at the end of the day. The bins could be installed under the seats of the boatmen with ample leg space under the seats and the bin. Alternatively, an obvious but a much needed solution is to install the bins on the ghats itself. They could be placed at various places, and instead of plastic bins, earthen pots could be used. Similarly, there are thousands such species of birds and animals which suffer from extinction, loss of habitats, and numerous health problems due to anthropogenic activities. The number of sparrows, for example, in our country has reduced immensely due to various reasons such as deforestation, loss of cavity nesting, presence of harmful radiations from cell phone towers, use of chemical fertilizers in agricultural industries, etc. Therefore, on this note, we would like to say thank you and hope this helps to bring about small change in our habits which could save the habitats of our fellow mates for the greater good.